Welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. John Degenhardt. Dr. Alex is away this week. We have our cute Larissa with us tonight. You know, folks, if you were from my perspective, many people are still afraid of chiropractors. One of the main reasons I do this show is to dispel those fears. If I get on and I talk about how we're gentle, how we can help headaches, how we can help pregnant women, I think you would say he's just drumming up his business. If you hear it from her, I think it's more credible. So I'm thankful that you came tonight, okay?
Thank you
So
for having me.
she's going to explain a little bit about who she is, and then we'll stop for commercial break. So who is Larissa?
I'm Larissa. I'm a wife and mother of 5.
Wow.
I also teach fitness classes at the Freeland YMCA.
Very good.
I came to Dr. John back in 2012 because my neck was hurting and my doctor would not see me until I saw a chiropractor. And I had never been to a chiropractor, and I was afraid of chiropractors at that point in time. But I came because the doctor wouldn't see me, and I'm really glad I came because honest to God, it fixed me right up. I didn't even have to go to the doctor, and I've been coming regularly ever since.
And Larissa, many women watching this show are afraid also. So you had the courage, and I guess you didn't have too many choices. Your doctor wouldn't see you. He said it was nice at least that he said go to the chiropractor. So
Yeah.
let's stop for a little commercial break. But we're going to get into your headaches, your pregnancy, your back pain, how chiropractic help all of that, okay?
Yep.
So folks, as usual, with the brand new year, you should have still some leftover cookies. Go get a tray, come back and watch Larissa's show. Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I love what I do. I never want to retire. I worked 12 hours today, didn't even get a lunch break, yet it's a joy to stay after hours. Because I mean it, Larissa, you coming out on this cold night is important to tell your story. So let's go back in time. Initially you had neck problems, right?
Yes.
So you were afraid, your doctor said, I'm not going to see you. Chiropractic started to help you. But as time went on, you became pregnant later on with your marriage. Many girls are afraid, thinking, I don't think a chiropractor can adjust to pregnant women. Is it safe for the baby? So tell us way back then, when you were pregnant, how did you feel it was still safe to come and get adjusted?
Well, I had already trusted my chiropractors. And while I was pregnant, I was having a lot of hip issues. My hips were coming out of place all the time. So I found that it was beneficial to come to the chiropractor regularly during my pregnancies. It just kept my comfort levels where they needed to be.
If I was a pregnant girl, 7 months pregnant with this big belly, I would be thinking, how do you even lay it down on the table? So explain a little bit how that is.
I thought that too, but they have a table that opens for your belly to safely fall into an empty space.
Right. So no matter how big or small the belly is, there's no
Right.
compression on it.
Right.
Now remember, the technique, some chiropractors, in my opinion, they tell pregnant girls, we can't adjust you because they're very rough.
Mm-hmm.
We have a more gentle, and we're going to adjust you tonight. Not that you're pregnant anymore, but we want to show them how to get the legs level. So do you remember, was the technique safe and gentle for you and your baby?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's a little bit different.
Yes, it was.
How about this neck adjustment? You had headaches, right?
Yes.
So a headache to me, this is a woman with 5 kids, yet she teaches a class. I hate when people say, John, I had to close my bedroom door and just lay in the dark room till my headache passed. So does our care fix the headaches so you're able to keep up with your busy life?
Absolutely. I barely have headaches. If I do, I know my neck is out of alignment, and I make an appointment right away.
So for girls who have headaches watching this show, neurologists do CAT scans.
Yeah.
They find the brain's fine.
Yeah.
It's the neck that's misaligned. So were you afraid back? Okay, you were initially. How do you help these girls overcome their fear to get their necks adjusted so we can stop their headaches?
Yeah, at first I didn't get my neck adjusted when I would come. It wasn't, well, no, I did, but I would see Dr. Stacy and she would let me skip that.
Okay.
But then it came to a point where when my kids were older, somebody would pull me the wrong way and my neck would be out of alignment. I couldn't turn my head a certain way, so I regularly get it adjusted now. It makes me feel so much better.
You know, I think a good chiropractor, you read the patient. If a person to me is afraid of the neck, we tell them we're not going to force it then. Let's just work on the pelvis. As you develop a relationship and you get to trust the chiropractor and you say, you know what, Dr. Stacy or Dr. John, I'm having headaches, now's the time. So anybody that tells their chiropractor, don't crack my neck, and he does or she does, my advice is don't go back to them. People will come to me, they'll say, I told him not to crack it. He did it anyway, and I'll never go back. 10 years later, they come to me and they'll say, I hope I can trust you. So the point is, once you build up that relationship, then that patient can say, you know what, I heard you're gentle, now I'm ready, give me a gentle. And we're going to show people tonight what the adjustment is like to fix your headaches, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's stop for a little bit of a break. We're probably getting close to the 6-7 minute mark. But we're going to then talk about, we talked about headaches, we talked about pregnancy, let's talk about massage therapy. And your husband comes here, your daughter comes here. So for you guys, it's become a family affair.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
Good. So go get a big tall glass of milk for those cookies and come back in about 30 seconds. Thank you. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. Again, I'm Dr. John. Dr. Alex is off actually playing with his 4 little kids. I thought over the holidays, my kids are all grown up. In fact, they don't even want to spend time with their old dad anymore. So let them spend time with these little ones. But this is Larissa. This pretty girl was a patient of ours when Dr. Stacy was with us. She would see her and I back and forth. But as you got better, were you the one that talked your husband and eventually your daughter to come here too?
Yes, I did. My husband is here often. He is a regular for sure. If he didn't have you guys, he wouldn't be walking. He works really hard. He does a lot of heavy lifting. He owns a construction company. He's a contractor. He is here every 3 to 4 weeks.
But that's what I love about my work. You know, when a man climbs ladders, does roofs, now that he's plowing, that last storm that we had, I think he told me he worked like 15 straight hours. And when you look back and forth in a plow, in those side view mirrors, he was so tied up in this region.
Yeah.
He knows, rather than taking a bunch of pills or missing work, getting the adjustment is crucial.
Right, right.
When I was younger, I hurt my back playing sports. I went to medical doctors, physical therapists. No one could help me for 3 years. I had crutches my senior year at Bishop Hayfie. My legs were numb. I was afraid of chiropractors. Back then I heard that they were quacks. I said, if I'm hurting, I'm afraid they were going to hurt me worse. Did it take much convincing on your part to say to your husband, just try chiropractic and see if it helps you? Do you remember back then?
A little bit. I think it did. He's hard-headed and he doesn't need help from anyone, but I did convince him and he's glad I did. I'm glad that I did.
It's a joy. When he comes in, you should hear him. I don't know how he is with you, but when I adjust him, oh, that felt great. You know, like he sort of explains how much better he feels. So we adjust his whole spine because he's a very physically active kind of a guy.
Yes, he definitely needs it.
For people watching this show, your daughter's how old?
12.
So we adjust a 12-year-old differently than we do a construction worker.
Right.
You know, anybody that sees chiropractic, they'll say to me, John, I don't like that one size fits all, what they call cookie cutter chiropractors. You know, everybody to me is unique.
Yes.
So your daughter, was she a little bit nervous about coming for her first visit?
She was. We have tried to convince her to come for quite some time. She finally came. I asked her how she was feeling today. She said, I feel pretty good, with a big smile.
And again, a good chiropractor. I did that first the other day. I wanted her to get a feel for what it was going to be like. But again, we'll have to show tonight. I laid him on his side. We twist him. I twist him more aggressively. But you could tell she's younger. She was more scared. So then we just do gently, just to, again, win over the trust of the patient. So again, anybody watching this show, if you're afraid of a chiropractor, tell them that. I love when that first visit, when they say, I am scared to death, doc. This table looks like a stretch rack you have. And I tell them, I'm glad you told me. So let's be extra gentle tonight. But then I tell them, but don't expect, you know, people will have migraines for 10 years. They expect one visit. It's going to fix it all. So I tell them, it's like, you've been an instructor for how many years now?
A little little over 1 year, but I'm not a stranger to exercise. So.
Right. But you can gradually encourage your class to give it time, to get back in shape again.
Yes, it does. Takes time.
One thing we try to talk to young people about is to never sleep on their stomachs. Remember, a lot of young people, as they sleep face down, they twist the neck to breathe. I've had neurologists order CAT scans of brains. They can't find anything wrong. They say that this young girl, their mother, is having migraines because it must be anxiety, stress related. It's not the brain, it's the neck.
Yeah.
So many people watching the show, it's their neck that's misaligned. Do you ever see some people, they start to twist and crack their own neck? That's a sign to me that something is misaligned, maybe from being a stomach sleeper or from previous accidents. We need to adjust the neck within, I never have that urge to twist my own neck. Did you used to do that before you
I
came
do
here?
get that feeling when it's out of place. My daughter is the neck roller.
And my prayer is the more stable we get your neck or her neck, the less of a neck roller she'll be.
Right.
Yeah, so
she has stopped rolling her neck since she's been here, I've noticed. So.
I don't remember. Does she sleep on her stomach?
No, she's a side sleeper. My husband sleeps on his stomach, though.
Well, you put a bullseye on his pajamas and you pinch his butt every night.
He tries.
we got to get him to stay off his stomach. Remember, I was a stomach sleeper. 23 years old in chiropractic school. When they show me x-rays, think about it. If you're on your stomach all night long, it has to cause tension.
Yeah.
But I never did crack or twist my own neck. It took me 2 months of just saying to my brain, stay on your side. 2 months to break the habit.
Yeah.
So a lot of my patients, I tell them, no matter what it takes them, persevere. They must stop the habit of sleeping on the stomach. So you don't anymore, do you?
No.
You never did?
No, never did.
Good. So is your husband just stubborn?
He's been really trying hard. So at first, it's like he couldn't sleep. He had one night where he slept on his stomach, and he's like, "Oh, I slept on my stomach. I made a mistake."
And that's okay if it's one night, but I love your husband.
He's still in that phase where he's trying to retrain himself to not go there.
And I guess it's because once I broke the habit, I never went back. Because a lot of our patients watching the show, they have migraines. They see a doctor, the meds don't work, they go to a neurologist, they get brain CAT scans, nothing shows up on the brain, stronger meds. And they come to me and say, John, I'm feeling like a zombie, I'm not expressive of my normal personality. It is a joy as a chiropractor, and then we're going to show that in a minute, how we're going to get your neck, and gently as you adjust the spine. I used to think, honestly, are they faith healers? Do only people see chiropractors because is it psychosomatic? But to me, it makes a lot of science. If you get it in alignment, the blood vessels get more oxygen, no headaches at all. So you came to us for your pregnancy, for your headaches, for your backaches. You get your husband to come, you get your daughter to come. That's pretty cool.
Yes, my son comes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Remember, you're going to get a complimentary massage for coming tonight.
Oh, thank you.
We were going to give it to your husband, but tell him, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, folks, for tuning in. I want you to watch me adjust Larissa. This is a woman who had headaches, backaches, pregnancy problems. Chiropractic changed her life. So come and watch the show. Those of you that are afraid of chiropractors, see what it's like. Hi everybody. This to me is the exciting part of my life. Patients will say to me, don't you get tired of doing the same thing for 42 years, 50, 60 hours a week? To me, the art of what I do is first reading the patient. Is she tired? Is she stressed? Is she scared? And then listening to what you just said. You said that your hips pop. Many girls, when their sacroiliac joints are shifted, one leg is shorter, the cartilage of their hips pop. You should be able to do those exercises without any hip popping. So we believe is when we get the back in alignment, the cartilage of the hips will stop popping. So anybody that their hips pop, it's usually a sign that one of the sacroiliac joints where the legs are unlevel. So let's do that Kemp test and see if your legs are off, okay? So hands up here. Thanks again for coming. You could be home having a glass of wine with your handsome husband. So again, God gave us a right and a left sacroiliac joint. So the length of the leg should be level if the back is in place. So she has these fancy high heels on here today, but we're going to look to see they look level, and not a lot, but see her right side? Her right side is, I would say, maybe a 1/4 inch longer if you could see it on TV. So think about it. What we're saying then, just to give a picture, so to have a little bit more time, if I took an x-ray, her right sacroiliac is like this. So every step this woman takes, her hip sockets, which are down here, the cartilage is clicking. Not a good sign. My prayer as a chiropractor is listen to your bodies. Your bodies talk. The average person says, okay, my hips are popping, but I have no pain. No big deal. They ignore it. Then they come into me 2 years later when their leg is numb. And so we want to correct this. Equal weight bearing, eventually the popping of the hips should go away. So this right side is a 1/4 inch longer. And it would pull your hair. So there's two ways. We could either do what we call the Thompson method. We come on this side, and I'm going to get on her right sacroiliac and her left ischium, and you just tap it. There's no pain. So if anybody says on their first visit, I am scared, I am nervous, this is what I always do. They're laying there thinking, I don't feel anything. He's not doing it. I love when someone else from the family comes with them, and they sit there and they witness it. So let's say if this was her first time, again, the angles, my angle, and the amount of thrust, all of that is important. So many chiropractors just crack this side, and the patient ends up right where they started. So again, get to a specific chiropractor. My opinion, they must check the leg length. They make the adjustment. They should check it again. Many chiropractors don't because they can't get the legs level. So they don't even check it anyway. But now we're going to recheck these legs. Her right leg, which was longer, and that looks perfectly level now. So that's the more gentle way. But just to show it, since she's been a patient of ours since 2012, lay now on this side. So let's say someone says to me, Jeff, I want something more aggressive. I don't want to do gentle adjustment. We have within our arsenal this technique where this bottom leg is straight, top leg is bent. Cross the arm up to here. And put the head up. All these little things are to make the joint shift gently into place. It might not pop, but we're going to see if I could get it a little bit more. So I get on her right sacroiliac as the shoulder comes back. There it is. So though the Thompson technique got it leveled, in my opinion, it's not quite as aggressive. I don't know if they could hear that on TV, but did you feel it? So that pop, you should put ice there tonight. And if it stays in place, it might take a month from now. The hip clicking should stop, okay? Now lay on your back for me. We're going to check the neck area. So again, if this is a new patient, we don't do this on the first visit. If a woman says to me, I am afraid, I'm only here because my neighbors all said you do great work here, but we would just get the neck and maybe just stretch them. So we would adjust the bottom and just wait. And as they feel better and they start to trust us, then we would do more. But now you've been coming here for 9 years, or even with 2012, 10 years, I'm sorry. So now when I palpate the neck, you can feel it. There's like a knot right there. So if we took an x-ray, Larissa's neck is shifted to the right. It would cause pressure on what they call the vertebral artery. It causes headaches. Even neurologists now are referring to us because, if we could, and that's the key word, gently move the vertebrae, then you don't have that urge to stretch your neck anymore. The blood vessels open up, proper blood supply. So again, the angles, the angle of my arms, we call it the line of drive. My contact point, if I use little parts of my fingers, the amount of my thrust, anybody, I'll never forget this. I played soccer for Bishop Afey. I was a junior. The senior got behind me. He says, turn around. I said, why? Just turn around. I turned around. He got my neck and he cracked everything. Within 2 minutes, I had what they call a wry neck. My coach, he goes, what are you doing? And I told him what the senior did to me. I couldn't play in the game. To me, he misaligned my neck and I never knew what he was going to do. So my point is, just because If you're watching this show and you crack your own neck, or you crack somebody else's neck, that does not mean you know that you're doing it in the right position. Just cracking something doesn't matter. You have to have the proper angle. In my mind, I see the facets of her x-rays. We want to move her facets so the ligaments and tendons hold it in alignment so that she stops getting her headaches. You said you had a headache tonight, didn't you? So she comes to do this show tonight. I think she's a beautiful girl with a headache. We should have did this before the show. Okay, so watch gently, everybody. We get on this side. Now we're going to pull. We first want to get at the tension, it's called. Now try to listen. Now for many people that looks scary, but that changes people's lives. Again, you don't do it on the first visit. You know, Jeff, you yourself, when your beautiful wife came, when your daughter came, same thing. You build a relationship with Larissa, get her to trust you. Now we come to this side. Same thing now. So we first, on an x-ray, we pull it left, and we want to push it left. Line of drive. You should never stretch your own neck. You should never sleep on your stomach. And let's go slow. See if people can hear this too, just a little bit. And we get it to tension, just a little click. Many chiropractors that I know, they're much rougher than that. Their thought is, I'm going to impress this girl. I'm going to crack it so hard, one visit will stop her headaches. Now to open up your rib cage, cross your arms to the opposite sides. Let me put my hand behind you. And I'm going to stop talking because I want to see if people can actually hear her thoracic vertebrae go drat. So take a deep breath. Exhale totally. We have 30 seconds left. How did that feel? Was it rough at all?
Not at all. It felt very gentle. I feel amazing, as I always do after the chiropractor.
No, it's not me. God made the body beautiful. I'm just a mechanic. Your body has an innate mechanism to heal itself. All I do is get things in proper place.
I feel immediate relief in my neck, always.
Well, for coming on a bit right before Christmas with 5 kids, I thank you so much for coming out on a cold night, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Larissa. Thanks, everybody.